I'm one of those people who are really big on going to yard sales. I'm one of those people who will get up early on a Saturday morning and drive around to different yard sales looking for something interesting to buy at a bargain. I love going to a yard sale and digging through all the stuff and looking for that one item, that one thing that is the thing that I just have to have. I'll even sometimes drive an hour or two away just so I can go to an area where they have better yard sales. The areas that are a bit more high-end, areas where there's more expensive homes, they will often have what they call estate sales. And when I go to these estate sales, many times I'll find some of these high-priced luxury items at bottom dollar prices. So one Saturday, I got up early, like I normally would, to prepare to go to some yard sales. I was planning on driving just about 20 minutes outside of where I live to go look at some yard sales that usually have some pretty cool stuff. I stopped to get gas and something to drink at this convenience store, and I noticed that there was a yard sale across the street. I head across the street over to the yard sale, and I take a look to see if they have anything that I would be interested in buying. Nothing catches my interest at first, and then off to the side I see this mirror that they have for sale. I don't know what it was about this mirror. There was nothing fancy about it, but for some reason it caught my attention. It looked like a normal mirror that you might keep in your bedroom. It was the tall, rectangular shaped type mirror. This mirror was just calling for me to buy it for some reason. So I asked the woman at the yard sale how much the mirror cost. She told me it was only $5, so I told her that I would take it. So I paid the $5, I loaded the mirror up in the car, and I headed home. I decided not to go to these other yard sales that I was planning to go to. For some reason, I just was ready to go home. I got home and I put the mirror in the living room. I just leaned it up against the couch. I stepped back and I just looked at the mirror and started to think about where I was going to put the mirror in my house. As I'm standing there looking at the mirror, it seems like my mind just kind of starts to drift off. Then my cell phone rings. My cell phone is in my pocket, and when I hear it ring, it was like all of a sudden I just kind of snapped out of it. It was like being in some type of daze or trance or something. And I didn't even realize it. I had kind of zoned out for a minute until the phone rang and kind of got my attention. I take out my phone, I look at the number, and it's not a number I recognize, so I just send it to voicemail like I normally would. When I look at my phone, I check the time, and it's about 20 minutes later than I thought it was. I was almost certain that I had not been standing just looking at this mirror for 20 minutes. There's no way that 20 minutes had just passed. It felt like I had been standing there for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But when I looked at my phone, it had to have been 20 minutes of me just standing there looking at this mirror. I couldn't figure out how this happened. I remember looking at the clock when I came into the living room, and I looked at the clock again and checked it with my phone to make sure that the clock on the wall wasn't wrong, and it was exactly matched to my cell phone. So how exactly did this happen? It's like I was mentally just gone. Like I had gone somewhere else for those 20 minutes. It was very bizarre. People are going to think that I'm crazy for saying that and might not believe me, but that's really what happened. But I have no way of explaining that, no logical explanation, and I don't have any solid proof of that happening. So I decided to put the mirror on a wall in my bedroom. Looking back now, putting the mirror in my bedroom was the worst place I could have put it. I would find myself laying in bed, looking at the mirror, just fixated on this mirror, and not being able to fall asleep. This mirror, it seemed to have like some type of energy that was coming from it. The first couple of days, nothing strange or bizarre or paranormal was happening, other than that I seemed to always be staring and fixated on this mirror. One morning, I'm laying in bed and my alarm goes off, and I hit the snooze button, and I lay there, and I'm still kind of half asleep. When the alarm goes off again, I turn over to turn the alarm off, and as I turn over, just out of the corner of my eye, I can see what looks like a cat in the reflection of the mirror. Now, mind you, I don't have any pets at all at my house, and when I saw that out of the corner of my eye, I quickly turned back toward the mirror, and whatever it was that I saw in the mirror was gone. I thought that maybe I was still half asleep, and I just saw something in the mirror that was something that kind of looked like the reflection of a cat. But this thing that was there, that I just happened to catch out of the corner of my eye, it was there 1 second and then gone the next. A few days later, I was in my bedroom one morning and I was getting ready for work. I was just finishing up getting dressed, and I walked over to the mirror and finished buttoning up my shirt, and I saw what looked like someone standing in the corner of the room when I was looking at the mirror. It looked like a dark, shadowy figure just standing in the corner of my bedroom. I jumped back from the mirror and I turned toward the corner of the room where I thought I saw this figure, and there was nothing there. I looked back at the mirror and there was nothing in the mirror either. I remember it didn't look like a person. It was like this dark shadow, and it was what you would, I guess, say was like the outline of a person, but it had no features. It was just this dark mist. That day at work, I was thinking about this mirror and thinking about what I was going to do with it because of all of these strange things that were happening to me. That night, I went home, and when I got ready for bed, I just kept the mirror on the wall, and I laid there in bed, and I was staring at the mirror, almost waiting for something paranormal to happen, and nothing happened at all. I just laid there, and eventually I just drifted off to sleep. That night, I had a dream about the mirror. In my dream, I wake up, I'm in bed, and I sit up and I look at the mirror. As I'm looking at the mirror, I see this dark black smoke moving around in the mirror, and it's starting to form into what looks like a person. So in the dream, I get up out of bed and I walk closer to the mirror, and as I'm getting closer to the mirror, I put my hands out in an attempt to grab the mirror and take it off of the wall. Just as I do that, this ghostly shadow figure comes out of the mirror and wraps around my arms and begins trying to pull me into the mirror. The more I try to pull away and fight, the stronger this thing gets, and the more it starts pulling me into the mirror. It starts to slowly pull me into the mirror as I continue to struggle and fight to get this thing off of me. Just as I'm about to go into the mirror, that's when I jump up in bed and I realize that it was just a dream. I look toward the mirror and I see that the mirror is on the floor, as if someone or something had pulled it off the wall and onto the floor. I got up out of bed and I grabbed the mirror and I took it out and to the garage and left it there. When trash day came, I took the mirror from the garage and I put it out with the rest of the trash. That day I came home from work and I see that the trash hadn't been picked up yet, but the mirror that was placed out with the trash was now gone. I can only guess that someone may have been driving by and saw the mirror, what looked like a perfectly good mirror, sitting in the trash, and decided to take it. I sometimes wonder who has this mirror now, and what type of reflections are they seeing in this mirror.